So today we're going to talk about something that we find very interesting about the whole concept of the plague of darkness. We know that the plagues that Hashem brought on the Egyptians, they got more and more severe. And the severity grew whether the people were getting damaged with their finances or they were getting damaged with their bodies. But they was having some type of damage. By the plague of darkness, there was no damage done to the bodies and no damage done to the people's possessions. So you would wonder why the plague of darkness is so high up on the scale of the difficult plagues, because you go from the soft to the hardest. The hardest of the blows was, of course, the blow of Makat Bechorot, of the plague of the firstborn. And in such a plague, you would say that the plague before that would be a very difficult plague. But for some reason, the plague before that was what? Makat Hoshech, the plague of darkness.
I think that's worse.
What?
I think Makat Hoshech was worse.
Why is Makat Hoshech such a bad thing?
So many people died.
So who died?
2/3 of the Jewish people.
4/5 of the Jewish people.
Same ratio.
Look, 4/5 of the Jewish people died in Makat Bechorot. How many people left Egypt? 3 million people total, 600,000 men aged 20 to 60. But the total of the people that died, men, women, and children, was a total of 3 million people. And the entire 4/5 of the Jewish people died in Egypt. So you're talking about if 3 million people left. So how many people died in Egypt? A total of 12 million people died in the plague of darkness. Jews died. Non-Jews did not die in Makat Hoshech. Unless you say that there was other plagues. Every plague had other plagues with it as well. And there was one major plague.
Way worse.
What? Why did the Jews die? Very interesting question. Why did the Jews die? Which Jews died? The Midrash tells us that there were certain Jews that did not believe that it was a good idea for them to leave, whether because they didn't believe in the actual redemption or because they believed that even though there was the 10 plagues and there was for sure redemption going to happen, but they didn't want to leave because of what purpose? They felt that they had things good for them in Egypt, and if they were going to leave, so then they were going to lose out on the good things that they had. That's why they didn't want to leave. Another reason why they didn't want to leave is because they had power. These Jews that were in Egypt, they were people who were making sure that the other Jews were being enslaved. They worked for Paro, they got salaries, they had money, they were rich.
Really?
What?
That's for the population?
Oh, well, they could be for different reasons why they died. Also, the times of Mashiach, the same thing's going to happen. We know the times of Mashiach, there's going to be a birur, like the times of coming out of Mitzrayim.
That's scary.
And that just like then there was 15, the numbers of the Jews always somehow stick to around 15 million people. From then until now, the times that we're up to right now, we're also around 16 million people. The times of the Holocaust was also 16 million people. And 6 million people died in the Holocaust. Right now, many people more could have died, because if you think about the total amount of people died during World War II, was 50 million people plus. Out of that, only 6 million of them were Jews. So now, many more Jews could have died in the Holocaust. Baruch Hashem, they didn't. But the concept is, there's some type of birur for some reason that Hashem wants that there should be a certain number, like the times of coming out of Egypt. Not everybody's going to be able to be enjoying the Geulah. Not everybody's going to come to the Beit HaMikdash. Only the ones who more the Beit HaMikdash will be able to come. Only the ones who believe in the Geulah and are mitzapeh the Yeshua, they're hoping for the salvation, are going to be redeemed. So what happened in the plague of the darkness was that 4/5 of the people died. And these people died for various reasons. And what's interesting is that it says that during the plague of darkness, Hashem wanted specifically that they should die at that time, because in the time of darkness, the Goyim won't see that the Jews are dying, because they would see that the Jews are dying like they were. So then they're going to feel, the Egyptians, that there's, just like we died, they died. There's no Kiddush Hashem, no Hashem. So therefore Hashem made it as a plague of darkness in order to get that the thing should be that the right Jews are going to leave We know just one Jew that left that wasn't supposed to leave. We know that 3 of them that left that weren't supposed to leave. One of them was Micha, another 2 was Datan Laviram.
I mean, they left the worst.
They should have died in Egypt. Micha and Datan Laviram.
How did they?
Moshe Rabbeinu saw Micha inside the break in the wall, and he felt bad that this happened to the Jews. And he said, Hashem, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this bad to the people? Hashem said, you want to take one of the kids' take? So he takes the kid out. This is the same kid who sees the letter of Moshe Rabbeinu. They wrote Hashem's name on it, throws it into the Nile to take out the bones of Yosef. He takes this letter, Michai, just to the water. He uses that. At the time that Aaron was trying to delay the time by the Egel, he puts the letter inside the burning of the Egel of the gold, and it turns into an Egel that says, I am the God, your God that took you out of Egypt. And this is something that's the same Micha who wasn't supposed to go through the Yam Suf in the beginning, didn't believe in it. And
It's not the prophet one, right?
Micha afterwards became the one who made a Avodah Zarah Eretz. According to opinions, he is Nevat. Yeravam ben Nevat's the father Nevat was Micha. Some opinions, Micha also was the one who taught Avodah Zarah Eretz, and he had with him the grandson of Moshe Rabbeinu, who was Yonatan, was his priest, to have people do Avodah Zarah. And that's what brought Yeravam ben Nevat. That's what brought the people, that they should be doing Avodah Zarah from this story of this one person that he took through. Micha did not even come to the Yam Suf with everybody else. He felt that it's not going to happen. But when he saw that everybody else was going through, after everybody else went through, he decided going through also. And the Yam Suf split just for Micha. And he took with him Avodah Zarah that he had with him from Egypt. So this is one of the characters that Moshe Rabbeinu saved, the Tana Viram also. They were also saved from Egypt, from this plague for some reason. But the point of the matter is that there were Jews that didn't believe in the final redemption. They didn't believe it was worth it. And these Jews, what happened to them? These Jews, they died in Egypt. And this is something that happened during which plague? The plague of Hoshech. And it says in the Pasuk something very interesting. The plague of Hoshech, it was so dark that the Jews at the time, it says they were able to see, but the Egyptians couldn't see. And the Jews were burying the dead. Imagine how many dead people they had to bury. And the Jews at the time, says that they were able to, it says that, the Pasuk says that the darkness was so great, a man couldn't see his brother. A man couldn't see his brother. And also, the Midrash tells how thick was the darkness. The darkness was thick. You could feel it. How thick was it? It says like the size of a dinar. A dinar, a coin. Now, they asked the question, the rabbis, why is it that it says that the measurement of the thickness of the Egyptian darkness was the size of a coin? Usually you have other shiurim in the Torah that you usually say, kezait, kebetah. But over here you're saying the thickness of a coin, kedinar. Why are you saying over here kedinar? Because the thickness that the Jews, that they were going to not go out of Egypt, their darkness that they didn't recognize and they didn't want to be redeemed is because they had dinar, they had a financial advantage of power. They would get paid by Paro. So therefore they didn't see that there was a redemption. They didn't see Ish El Ahiv. They didn't see their brothers. Lord Ish El Ahiv, they didn't see their brothers. So if you don't see your brothers sometimes, the reason is because you have power issues. The reason sometimes you have financial issues. And that's the reason why we weren't redeemed for Egypt. The word of the people that they came into the Mitzrayim, they were supposed to come out as what? As a nation. That goy mikerev goy. They were supposed to be a nation coming out of Egypt. What is a nation? An am. Am is the same root of the word im. Im means with. What holds a nation together is when people are having the same experiences, the same beliefs, the same goals, the same, they care for each other. The Jewish people in Egypt, they did that. They came out as a nation, but there were people that didn't. Why not? Because they weren't an Am. And Hashem says, I want my people to be together, to be Im. And I want them to be an Am. I want them to be a Goy. And if they can't come out like that, then I don't want them. Like we know that Moshe Rabbeinu said, you know why they're still in Egypt? Because when he heard that the Tana Vinam were saying Lashon Hara, he said, Achen noda hadavar Now I know why the Jews are in Egypt. You know why the Jews are in Egypt? Because since they're speaking Lashon Hara, so now I know why they're not reading. What is because Avodah Zarah, we're not going to come out of Galut? Yes, because Hashem wants to take out a goy, He wants to take out a nation. If you're speaking Lashon Hara, you're not together. There was once a father that he was dying, and he calls all of his kids together. He has 10 kids, and he said, "I want you to all come to my bed, and I want you to each one of you bring with you a twig, a stick, a branch, a little branch." And each one of the 10 kids bring. They don't know why the father wants them to bring them the branch, and each one brings the branch to their father, and the father bundles all the branches together, and he asks each one, "Can you break it?" And nobody could break the bundle of the twigs. Nobody could break the bundle of the little sticks until the father says, "Look, let's put it all on the table." And then the father was so weak, he breaks one branch, he gives it to a child. He breaks another branch, gives it to a child. He breaks another branch, gives it to a child. He said, "What are you saying that? What's your point?" He says, "When you guys are together, nobody could break you. But when you're separate, when you stand alone, anybody can take you down." Hashem wants us to be together, because we're together, we're alone, we're weak. When we're together, we're strong, we're victorious. That's what they say, the Goyim. They say, you know why the Jews are rich when they go to business? It's because when one Jew becomes rich, 6 Jews become rich. When you win, 6 people win. And that's what Hashem wanted in order to take them out. And that's why these Jews had to die. Why? Because they were held back from unity. And they were held back from being one. And Hashem wants a nation. He doesn't want different parts of peoples. You know, when the times of Mashiach is going to come, it says that Hashem is waiting for us to be also feeling each other's pain, knowing what everybody else is going through, to see another person. As we know, that after it talks about Yetziat Mitzrayim in the Gemara Berachot, it talks about from what time do you say Shema in the morning? From what time in the morning when it's dark can you say the Shema? And the Gemara Berachot on Daf Tet of 9b, it says you say the Shema from the time that you could recognize and you see your friend, even though it's still dark. But once you see your friend within the Daled Amot, that's when you say Shema. What's the meaning of Gemara? Why from the time you see your friend? The answer is because when a person, you want to say, what is Shema? Rashi tells us that when you say the Shema, you're supposed to have in mind Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, which means to say that Hashem, that is our God, He is the same God that's going to be one in the times of the Mashiach. In that day of Mashiach, Hashem will be one and His name will be one. Rashi says, what is the kavanah you're supposed to have in Shema? That just like it'll be clear in the times of Mashiach that Hashem is one, even though right now it's dark and we don't understand why there's bad things happening to good people and good things happening to bad people, it's all one Hashem. And that's what we're supposed to have in kavanah. We say Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, that we say now the Israel, even though the Goyim only times of Mashiach, they're going to have this clarity. But we see this clarity even now in the Galut. And that's what brings the Mashiach. The time that is darkness, we know the Gemara says, Ata Amara Shomer, Ata Boker, Ata Laila V'gam Boker. Laila, nighttime, is what? Is Galut. Boker is the Geulah's redemption. So what brings the redemption? What brings the Mashiach? What is the Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad time of Mashiach? The time when you see your friend in the morning, when you could recognize your friend, which is in Daled Amot. From that time is the time. That is a time of Mashiach to come when you could see your friend, when you feel what your friend's going through. If your friend is acting inappropriately, not nice, don't take it personal. He is going through something. Can you see what your friend is going through? The Geulah of Yosef happened from when? When he saw that the faces of the butler and the baker was Zo'afim, was not happy. He didn't say, oh, these guys are bad guys, bad mood, I'm not talking to them. He said, you guys have everything okay? How can I help you? And that is the way to bring Geulah, when you start to see Mashiach, Havero, B'toch Arba Amot. And that's the secret of Geulah.